Hey, yo, you know what it is. What's happening? How you doing? I know it's hella late. It's 11:28. I ain't even mean to rhyme like that. I ain't know it was 11:28 on the dot. That's crazy. You know, when it's in you, it's just in you. But we finna get straight into it because it's late and I'm trying to get a little bit of rest. I got a song that I need to work on after this for a little bit. So I'm finna be on here for an hour max. So it's 11:29. It's gonna be 12:29 when we end, and then I gotta upload this on YouTube. What we going over today is we going over how to mix trap beats, and I'm talking about trap beats. We gonna start with the stems, and then we gonna go to another one where I just had the two track. Without further ado, we ain't doing the chit chatting with chat today. We getting straight into it. So let's get it. I'm gonna go ahead and flip the screen right here. I'm actually gonna try this. I think that might be better for y'all. All right, so we are. I'm gonna play. I'm literally just talking about the music and the drums and all that stuff. This specific song right here doesn't actually have a kick, but I'm gonna play the beat for y'all. There's supposed to be a tag playing right here, but it's not playing. So what I'm gonna do, just so y'all get that tag, is I'm gonna take it out of this group. Let's do that. My tab, yeah. Wanna be big bang move. I mean, that's pretty much it. I'll go to this part because it's slightly different. We'll play into it. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Why can't I put these in this group? The frick is going on? In some other group? It's two. Oh, it says they are in the. Oh, this is not in the all vocals group. That's what I'm tripping on. Okay. All right. So that's the beat. We're gonna have the vocals muted for now. Even though once you start, mixing the beat, you want to get into how the relationship is with the vocals and everything. You kind of want to do all of that together at some point. But I think this is kind of a good one to use because it's pretty simple. I mean, it kind of seems like there's a lot going on, but it's really not. So if I just play the music, this is all the music is. So really, it's just these sounds right here, and these little like pianos in certain moments, and organ, and everything else is just like little sound effects. So it's just that, and then That's literally all that is. You know what I'm saying? And everything else is just little like sound effects and stuff. And then this section right here, right? Real basic. We're gonna go to this scene right here, and we're gonna loop this. So first things first, for a trap beat, what's the most important thing, right? The 808. So while we on the music, let's go to the 808. In this case, at least, the 808 is the thing. You know what I'm saying? So I got some parallels running through right now. Let me mute the parallels. Actually, let me just do this, and let me do that. And let me go to my kick and bass bus. We got nothing going on the mix bus. You notice I A-B this real quick. I'll do it again. You don't hear that much of a difference, but you get a little more fullness, a little more attitude, a little more texture in the 808, and some subtle low end sub that is needed for that thing to really thump. So this is before. Like I'm just giving it attitude. Like if you turn your speakers up and you listen to that A-B, you'll hear that grit. You'll hear that fuzz on top of the 808, and you'll hear that sub come up underneath. So what I like to do is I like to do a lot of these moves in parallel because I can control them and I can create my own kind of EQ, my own texture that I'm blending in with the sound. So I'm gonna bypass that, and we're gonna start with the 808s because that's most likely where I would have started. We're gonna start with the grit. What would I start? I probably would have started with the top. So grit top, low mid drum, low mid rum, and then sub. So on the top, I use either Fab Filter or the Kirchhoff EQ for these filters now. But at the time, I was using the Waves Q2 because that's what I had, and it was low on CPU. So that's why I did that. These are the frequencies that I'm separating, and I'm using the Faturator for some dry fuzz and color, just going ham on that thing. So let's see what that sounds like. Let's put this in pre-fader. Let's close that. So that's what I'm blending into that 808. It just adds a little bit of presence, a little bit of like spark on top of the 808. And then we come in with this low mid rumble. Thing rumbling. Thing rumbling, the thing a little out of control. And when you know we got the black box going, we maxing out the trio. We got a little something on the pinto, going ham on the saturation, and we put on the low setting. You feel me? So we running that through there, and then we are separating these frequencies. You know, we're between 63 and 107. So that ends up being somewhere in the middle is the frequency that we're adding back. And we blend that in, and then we got the low end. Don't want to turn that up too loud because I ain't trying to blow your speakers out. But that's what we got. So we got the Pro Sub mix all the way on 100, and we're using this resonant. I like using this. I don't always use this in parallel. A lot of times I actually put it on the 808. This is somewhat kind of dangerous because this could mess something up. You know what I'm saying? But I did it on this mix and I really liked it. I think when I was putting it on directly, it was changing the balance of my tone a little too much. So I put this in parallel. It's a subharmonic generator, and this is a stock Pro Tools plugin. It's pretty fire. So I'm using that, and then I'm controlling it and compressing it with the BF76. Just so that that initial push isn't too crazy. You know what I'm saying? Too much crazy sub information, just boom, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's relaxed. So it's pretty fast attack, fastest release for 1176. And then we got the pull tech. I'm boosting a little bit more low end just to give me a little more roundness, a little more fullness, a little more bottom. It's just something about this specific pull tech on low end instruments that I like. I don't even like this on vocals for real. Oftentimes, it just, to me, it sounds good on low end, like on kicks and bass. I like using this more than the one from UAD. I like the one on UAD for UAD on vocals. I like this one on low end stuff. And then adding back this frequency between 16 and 54. Just adding that back in, blending it in to taste, and that's where I ended up on that 808. And then from there, we got the Smack Attack, the best freaking transient designer of all time. I'm doing actually some kind of drastic settings on this. So I'm trying to get that transient of that 808 to pop because there's no kick. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting that transient to pop. So I'm creating the kind of envelope or the attack on top of this 808 so that thing can really punch through, because when this is a trap record type vibe, you know what I'm saying? So when that 808 hit, you don't want to just like, brush up against you. You want that shit to hit you. You feel me? You don't want just, you know what I'm saying? You want that something knock your chest, knock the wind out you, you know what I'm saying, out your lungs. You feel me? So that's what I'm using this to do. I'm increasing the attack up to 80. I'm messing with the sensitivity. If you look at this orange line right, even though the sensitivity isn't down here where the 808 is actually playing it, it's still, like you see, it's still moving. You know what I'm saying? So it's still giving me that attack. So I like, this is the magic to me in this plugin, is the sensitivity and the duration on both. Like messing with that stuff, you could really create some magic. And then I'm using the SSL channel. Let's see what we're doing here. Boosting some 9.42 for a little bit more presence. Boosting a little bit of 2.91, 2900. I don't know, yeah, a little cut through or whatever. And then we cutting out some 200 and a little bit of a shelf boost at 32. You feel me? Just trying to shape that tone a little bit better, make it sit better with the song, but also in relationship to the lead vocal, and that's it. I'll A/B that. Just sound more balanced. It's like a hole for that vocal to sit inside there. Perfect. So that's where I probably started when it came to the music. I'm starting on that 808, and then I'm gonna play that 808, and I'm gonna play it with the drums. Okay, so apparently I had a free plugin, it's Warmy EQP1A on here. I don't know what I did on here, but probably shelving off a little bit of top end, but also boosting the top end so that that clap cuts. Let me listen to that one more time. Because that clap is kind of aggressive. It's interesting. It got an energy to it, but I just want to enhance that a little bit, but I don't want to have it hitting your ear being super harsh and it hurts every time the clap hits. So that's what we got going on there. On this shorter clap, we got the gate on the RVox and a little bit of compression on there. Just making it tighter and making it pop a little bit more. That's it. And then we got a little bit of EQ. It's a little more excitement on the top end on it. That's it. Real basic. A lot of times first off, these are already like sampled samples. You feel me? Like they sound fine. All I need to really do is most of the time change the tonal balance to work in context with the music. Most of the time, I only need one EQ to do that, or maybe just a compressor just to do some small stuff, just to create a transient or relax a transient or decrease the dynamic range as far as the size of the sound just a little bit. Subtle stuff, like you really don't have to do a lot oftentimes with these beats. Sometimes I might add a little bit of texture to a sound. Sometimes I'll do it with a compressor, like I might have did here or something, or with a certain type of EQ, like using the API or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But we'll get there. So now, let's go to the hi hat. So we're just using a little bit of distortion. This hi hat is kind of like boring. I just want a little more texture, a little more energy, attitude from it. So that kind of brings it up, brings a little more forward, and then we, mix that 15% using the air distortion. Stock plugins, man. You gotta know your stock plugins. Now to me it fits in. You know what I'm saying? Like it's here with the crowd. It's like, oh, I'm one of the homies. I'm a cool kid too now. You feel me? It fits in. It feels grittier and kind of nastier. Where at first it was kind of like boring. It's not really fitting in. It's like a shy guy. This is a trap beat. This motherfucker smacking right now. It's like a shy guy in the back, like in the back of the classroom. Everybody else lit and turned up in the class, and he just back there like, bro, you're not looking right. Like you don't look like you fit in. Now we just excited it up a little bit, and it's just fitting in with the crowd. That's it. And then we got this little ting thing. I am turning down a bunch of low end at 110. Nothing here. Okay, that's it. Let's go. Some of these sounds just hit every now and then type stuff too. So let's actually go to this snare roll real quick. And let's just do this for everybody real fast. Let's go right here. All I'm doing here, rolling off some low end, boosting just a little bit of, what's that, almost 700, 680, boosted just a little bit of 220, boosting the dB at 161. So we kind of chunkying that thing up just a little bit, ever so slightly, but we getting rid of what's going on super down low at 18 for some reason. Just making a little more chunky. It's this ting thing right here. I don't know, just something about that to me probably just made it cut a little bit more. Probably just a little texture. Real subtle stuff, nothing too crazy going on there, just running it through it. I don't know, man. I be hearing stuff, I guess. I be running it through stuff. I be thinking that this compressing, it sounds like it's compressing a little bit to me, probably when I did it, just ever so slightly, just a nice little squeeze. And then we high passing at 80, turning down some low end at 110, boosting a little 7.2, and that's about it. Let's A-B that. Just slimming it up a little bit, slimming it out. What else we got? What's this? Nothing there. Just turn down a little bit of 7K. Turn down a little top end. Just darkening that a little bit. Look like we turned the volume down a little bit there too. Yeah, just darkening that a little bit. Just to tuck it a little more in context with the rest of the drums. So let's solo this. And then go here. See how it's kind of tucked when I bypass? Now it's tucked and it's like it's not as in your face on top of it. That this is one of those ones. It was like, okay, you doing a little too much, guy. Like you, calm down, relax a little bit. You feel me? Now you chilling a little bit. Now you fitting in a little better, tucked in the back. And then we got really just using this to relax some low end. It looks like same here and some extra. Yeah, just using that to relax some low end and boosting a little AK, bringing that out a little more. Let's see what that sounded like before. Yeah, just waking that thing up right there. And then we got cash register, just a little compression on that, trying to keep that locked in. Don't want that going too AWOL. What's this? Okay, we got some footsteps, some marching. So that's what it sounded like at first. And then it's after. So in context of the mix, I just needed to bring that out more. So we got the double lock on here, probably doing most of the dirty work. So it obviously gets a lot louder and a lot more aggressive. But then we got some filtering and some EQ going on here. You know, just shaping that thing overall so it sounds the way it needs to sound in context of the mix, but you still got that energy. But all that low end information in this is not messing with that 808. It's not conflicting. So I'm trying to make sure all of that works together with this. Some shit, some texture shit, you know what I'm saying? We turn down some low end, we high passing and low passing. We are turning down some 560. That's it. Turn down the output a little bit too. So I guess this is, and I use the limiter to turn it up, which is weird because I turned it down -20 and then I put a limiter on it to turn it up. I don't know. I'd be doing weird stuff sometimes, you know what I'm saying? This was probably one of those moments. So that's what I did. So let's play the drums and the 808. It sounds like a record. It sounds like a vibe. It's bopping. You know, a lot of this is levels too. Is balance. Like you see, I'm turning levels up and down with plugins, but I'm also turning things up and down here. You feel me? Like -6.2 or -14.07. You know what I'm saying? Like turn the 808 up +3 right here. You know, these is a lot of this is leveling for that energy. You know, so that's that. And then what I'll do oftentimes is I'll come through and I'll solo the music. Since we in the bridge, let's start in the bridge. So this song is very simple melodically. It's not very spacious for real. So I'm adding a little bit of reverb just to give it some width, some stereo information. And I'm also using these other sounds. They are panning around. This might be something that was, yeah, this was something that was already done in the DAW. I actually made this beat, by the way, so you know it's okay. But I just did that in the beat, so it's already panning around, helping to create some width, so it's not so mono, and there's excitement going on in the left and right ear. But if I mute this reverb, you see how it just fills out the space? It sounds like there's some stereo information still on these, on at least one of these sounds, but it just fills it out. It puts it in a space. It makes it feel just, I don't know, better to me. This is basic R verb on a hall. I just the pre-delay in the time a little bit, and that's probably it. Maybe the early reflections a little bit, but that's probably it. Variation on 6. You know, maybe I adjusted these things just a tad here and there, but it's all to taste. That's literally it on that. And I sent both of those sounds to this aux right here, and we got some stuff. Okay, I ain't know I did all that. That's giving me a little more grit, a little more anger, a little more. It's just fitting in a little more. Subtle compression with the distressor, boosting a little bit of, almost 11K, 10.8. Turning down a little 240. That's it on that. Um, Boosting a little bit of 455, boosting a little bit of 188. I don't know why I did this on the Neve versus doing it on this SSL, but I don't know. That's just what I did. It felt right. And then we got some drive and some fuzz. We just making that thing cut. We get nasty on that thing. So I'm using that to help it cut more through the mix, but it's also giving it a little bit of an attitude. So that's what we're using there. So let's listen to these sounds and see what's going on here. I'm sending both of these main synths to this aux right here. On this lower one, I got this SSL channel. I'm just scooping out, turning down some low end on the shelf, just really to make it fit better. Oh, boosting a little bit of 5.7K. Just making it feel a little better in relationship to the other one, because I want the other one to be a little fatter. It's more of like the main one, and this one kind of comes in and does like a little extra melody with so that's what we got there. And then let me actually just do this, and then we got the distressor. Just something about this distressor from Slate on these like synth sounds. Sometimes it just brings it to life a little bit. It just gives me a little something. But then I'm also EQing, boosting 6 dB at 5.2. You feel me? Just making it cut, finding the personality in the sound. You know what I'm saying? And turn down just a little bit of 241. Turn down just a little bit of 295. And then this right here is just shaping it a little bit so it works with the 808, and it also works with the vocals. So we dip in a little bit there, boosting a little bit there. Still want to keep that low end in there, but I don't want that rumble, to be conflicting with anything. And then we're just shaving off a little bit of the top. That's all we got there. You see, this is very simple. You feel me? I'm not doing a whole lot. You just do the right things, you know what I'm saying? And then we can add in these guys. It's organ, real simple. Just low pass at 18K, boosters for 470, turn down some 6.8. That's it. Just little tonal stuff and balancing. That's it. And then on this one, this is the piano. I'll play that piano solo. So that's the piano. Let me mute these delays and reverb. So that's the piano. Sounds fine, right? Just bringing out a little more pop to it. You know what I'm saying? So we got a little bit of compression on it, trying to bring a little more pop to it. Boosting some 7K, and then turn down a little bit of 200. Because the sounds fine. I'm just wanting a little more pop to it. That's literally it. And then I added a delay to it because it sounded cool. Felt like it needed it. High passed it and low passed it. Put a little deverb. Ooh, got chills on it, and then straight up H delayed that thing right there. And then we put Enigma on it just to give it a little flavor, a little movement, a little vibe. There's that, and then I put that same reverb on there. These are the levels on those. Real subtle. Oh no. Real subtle on that reverb. And then that's the synth right there. And then all of these are just little random sounds. A little drive on the beat. Just bring it out a little more, make a little high pass. Turn down a little turn on a little 450. That's literally it. Real simple. And then we got this vocal chop. Let's go vocal chop right here. Yep, just high pass the 20, low pass the 3K. So let's A/B that. It's pretty bright. Just wanted to tuck that. Didn't need to be all that bright, so just that's it. And we turn down a little bit of 430. That's it. So in context with the music, let's A/B that. It's just tucked a little more. You know what I'm saying? What's this? Slow fine a little bit, a little distortion saturation, just darkening it, but still allowing it to cut. It's a riser. Did nothing to that. Just levels. The car rumble already is panning. A little distortion, got the punish up, just a little grind to it, a little more to it. It's already growling. Let's make it growl more. Now I'm just using this to balance the tone within the track. You know, frequencies don't matter. We just shaping it to shape it to fit inside the song. And what is this right here? Oh, this was already in the production. So this is something that I had did in the production. I had put microshift on it, so I just printed these effects, like printed these sins. So I had this on everything. Well, I had not on everything, but some things, certain music. So I'll be doing this a lot when I make beats in FL Studio, but it's almost like what people used to do back in the day when they would send sound out of the speakers, or it's like when people mic a drum kit or something and they'll put two room mics up. That's not what I'm doing here at all. No, by no means what I'm doing. But that's what I treat that's what I treated that like. You know what I'm saying? All I did is just level it out anyway. Actually I just turned it down to that amount and I just left it there. So that's how I thought about that, and that's all I did. That was a reverb. That was microshift. That's literally it. So then when you put everything together, it's all like balancing and balancing within context of the music and everything. Then on my percussion, I did a little bit of stereo imager, S1 imager, just 1.05, just moving the size out a little bit. And then on the music effects, 1.09, just widening out those music effects a little bit. And then on the music specifically, just a little bit of width on the top and a little bit of width on the bottom. Just making sure that 808. Sometimes on the music, I like to widen out the low end in just the music sounds so that low end information can really cut through and have that center. But I just did it very subtly right here on the top and on the bottom. That's it. And that's literally it, y'all. That's this is that's how you do it, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how you mix the trap beats right there. So right there we gonna end it right here, and then we gonna go to a 2 track. So I'm about to Save this. I'm gonna go dark for a second because I gotta reopen. I gotta open a session, so you're not gonna be able to hear me for a second, or for some seconds, for a moment. Who is it? We're gonna do this one. We're gonna do this one because I'm gonna show y'all how if you have a 2-track beat. Oh, there's already a Patreon. Hopefully I didn't mess nothing up on here. I'm gonna actually go here and I'm gonna reset. All right, all right, all right. Gotta make sure that we back. We back in action. We back in action. All right. So this right here was actually a 2-track. Let me do that. Let me make everything active. Yeah, now I'm about to show y'all. I'm about to show y'all. If y'all stayed this long for the video, y'all about to get a special treat. You're gonna be glad that you stayed this long. I didn't even want to tell y'all I was gonna do this because this is a trick. This right here is a actual mix trick. I'm not really big on the mix tricks and the big mix techniques and all that kind of stuff, but this right here, what I'm about to show y'all, straight up, this is a trick right here, man. It's a hack. Because a lot of times we gotta mix 2-track beats and we want to change the balance. We want to change the EQ a little bit. Darn. This is how I do it. If I really want to, if I feel like I really need to do it. So I have this 2-track, right? This is what I was given. Oops, let me do that. Also, let me turn my master bus off. I'm gonna go to like. So this is what I was given. This is what I did. That thing done woke up, ain't it? Hey, I'm about to get y'all some real game right here. Y'all should be paying for this. If you want to, go to the Patreon. If you go to the Patreon, I'm gonna tell y'all exactly how I do this, what I use and everything. But all I did, just to keep it short and simple, is I used a stem separator. A stem separator for the 2-track, and I separated the music, the drums, and the bass. And if there's like vocal samples and stuff, it usually will sample that too, or some other subtle elements and stuff. But that's what I did. I just did that. And so I make sure everything is time aligned, make sure there's no phase issues, make sure it's perfect to the T. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's perfectly phase aligned. That's super important because if it's not, you're kind of might be screwed. So you got to make sure it's perfectly in phase. So once I did that, now I'm gonna blend in my balances back. I guess I should bring these back up so y'all can see everything. So I'm going to, if I mute the music, or if I mute like the actual 2-track. So I'm using this now to balance. So you see things are at different levels like this. The music is turned down 9 dB. The bass, this bass is turned down 11.5 dB. This one is 11. This one's 11.5. This one is -9 up here. This one's 8.5 right here. It's -13.5 here. You feel me? Let's get into it. The 2-track is pretty much the same. I did, some cuts and edits, so I make sure I did that on everything. So directly on the beat, I don't believe I did anything directly on the beat. I just sent that to my 2-track bus. This right here on the music, let's just do this. So all of this is now in my brain, I'm doing everything in parallel. I'm EQing in parallel. I'm kind of using the parallels to balance things, to add or whatever. I'm just doing it in parallel. So I got the radiator on here, boosting some bass, boosting or cutting some bass, boosting some treble. I want a little more brightness there. Then I'm using the trim because there's no trim on the radiator, like there's no output trim, but I'm driving the input so I can get that color. And then I'm using the Pro Q3 to just get rid of some of that low end because I don't want to add no more of that back. If I probably had this sound on its own, I probably would have cut some of that low end out. So I'm not trying to add more of that in. So that's what I'm doing to that in parallel. This Vox sample, I'm just leaving that how it is. Oops. And I'm just blending that in as I see fit. The tag, I muted the tag because the tag was way loud enough in the 2-track. It was loud enough, so I didn't do anything with that. That's all I'm doing for the music right there. Then with the 808 and this bass. So we got this here. So I'm blending that in. I'm kind of looking at this now and I'm like, why did I do this? Like, why are there two 808s right here? This is insane. I feel like this has gotta be a mistake. What Yo, I don't know. That's kind of crazy now I'm looking at this. I feel like this 808 should definitely not be here. But this is what was sent out. This is crazy that I'm showing y'all that. Did not know that. Anyway, on this one, the Pro Q, I'm just turning down some 46 because as you can hear, this is kind of it's that thing is thumping. You feel me? Like really all you need to do is blend the balances. Like I'm basically using these parallels to be able to adjust the overall balance of the kick and the bass, the drums somewhat, and the music somewhat. Like now I can adjust the volume and I can find a way to fit that vocal into the track. So that's all I'm doing here in certain sections, like right here. I just felt like all of this needs to be a little bit lower because it has this bass right here playing as well as the 808 playing. Yeah, I named it 808 and bass. So I'm just turning that down a little bit. And then right here, I'm turning up and down certain notes, like these two notes are just down a little bit or whatever, or up a little bit. Or down a little bit, up a little bit. Just for the vibe to be right. And now this was -9 dB, just making sure those levels are sounding right in context of the music. And then for the drums, excuse me, we got some SSL bus compression on here. Solo these and bypass. So I'm doing all of this in parallel and in context with the music, but I'm trying to get a little more punch from these drums. That's it. I'm trying to get a little more punch from the drums. If I need to do more in parallel, I'll do more. But if I don't, I won't. You know what I'm saying? But still, this is a 2-track. In my brain, I'm still approaching it like a 2-track, but I'm just doing some things in parallel to get the balance better. So that's why there's a decent amount of processing going on the 2-track bus. Let me just Let me. I'm just using a little bit of this to separate that kick from the 808 and really get some punch out of the 808. I don't know what this, I mean, I know what it's doing, but I don't know how they achieve this, but it's doing some weird stuff here so that I can make that kick stand out a little bit more in context or in relationship to the 808. So that's all I'm using that for. And then we got some EQ, a little dynamic right here, relaxing a little top, and turn down. It looks like I'm relaxing that clap, hitting a little too hard in certain areas, and then there's some wonkiness in the bass going on there that I'm relaxing as well. And we got this. Classic, everybody uses that. And we got a little multi-band C4. I oftentimes use this or dynamic EQ a lot on 2-track beats when that low end or that kick or whatever is just a little too bassy. I can just control it nice and easy, either with some dynamic EQ on a low shelf or just the C4. And that's what I did here. I just used the C4 there, and then we got the image here. Just spreading things out just a little bit, and then I'm bringing back a little bass maybe. Ever so slightly bringing back a little bit of bass and a little bit of color, man. Just that's it. It's 12:15, guys. We're 15 minutes or 14 minutes away, technically, from meeting the mark of being done. But that's literally how I mix 2-track beats. Oftentimes, I'll just mix the 2-track beat straight and I won't do this. But if I need to do this, like in this situation, I felt this was the way to do it. So that's my approach. And when it comes to trap beats, you got to remember, like, what's the most important thing, man. A lot of times is that kick, 808, those drums, you know what I'm saying, that clap, that snare, that hi-hat, making sure those things are in the proper positions and they're contributing the energy that you want those things to contribute to the record. Because a lot of times with these type of records, like when I had the stems for that other record, I'm listening to that lead vocal, the ad-libs, those drums, the 808, and like the claps and everything, the hi-hats, like that's it. And then I'm bringing in the music for that, like that main element, doom 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 doom. I'm bringing that in to add that melodic element to it and add to the bounce. And then I'm bringing those sound effects in. It's just like decorations, you know what I'm saying? Like we just hanging up ornaments, but we've pretty much built the house and everything. Now we just putting a couple pictures on the wall type stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, so if you get that, if you get those drums and those 808s knocking and thumping and feeling right, you kind of almost there. You know what I'm saying? You could legit just level everything out else in the beat, and you probably might be straight with the sounds that people are using these days. You know what I'm saying? As long as they don't have any problems or anything that's just distracting or crazy or hurt your ears. But you know, for the most part, people are using sounds that already sound good. You know, so you don't have to do too much when it comes to a lot of these types of records. Um, so that's it. It's pretty simple, but it's hard sometimes because you want to do all of this extra fun stuff, but you gotta have a destination that you're going towards, and that's your mental picture that you're driving towards, and you want to get there. And so if you're doing all this EQ compression or whatever on these sounds and you don't need it, you should notice that you're not going to the proper destination, and you got to reroute. You might have to go back and start from where you started off and approach it again. So I'm gonna end early, and I'm gonna get this together to upload to YouTube. But I appreciate y'all for being here, for doing the thing. Please ask questions in the comments for all the YouTube fam. If you're liking the vibe, like and subscribe. You feel me? We here every month, every MF and week, consistently. Rock with me. If you have any ideas or any things you want me to make a video about, just let me know. And, we can get to that. If you go on to Patreon, though, you can request videos and I get the video to you ASAP. So there's that available to you as well. But yeah, bye, guys.